And you used Viktor Orban as an earlier example of somebody who he's not going to be shamed about mistreating migrants because for him, that's his platform. But I don't think Netanyahu's platform is let's starve the Gazans and cause them all to die of starvation. So what is the tactic that you take to shame somebody like this?
But the difficulty with Netanyahu is that his primary concern is staying in power and avoiding these pending corruption charges against him. And to do that, he needs to placate the two far-right ministers of his government, Ben-Gvir and Smotrich, who have been very open about their goal here, which is to ethnically cleanse Gaza. And that's the main point of what's going on today. There's talk about, pressuring Hamas for a better deal, but you're not allowed to starve civilians to pressure Hamas, just like you're not allowed to kill civilians to pressure Hamas. Those are war crimes. What I think is really going on here is simply an effort to, kill enough Palestinians, but more to the point, create conditions that are so unconducive to life that in the end, Palestinians feel they have no choice but to leave. And this will be a one-way ticket. It'll be another Nakba. They'll leave and they'll never be let back. And that is at this point, stated goal of these far-right ministers. And since Trump talked about creating a Gaza Riviera, it's the stated goal of Netanyahu too. So that's what's happening here. And I think that the fight against Hamas, which is, it's been decimated at this stage. I mean, there still is a Hamas there, but, does it really pose a threat to Israel? I mean, nothing compared to what Israel is doing to Gaza. And I think this is an effort to, ultimately remove 2 million Palestinians from the demographic balance sheet between the Mediterranean Sea and the Jordan River. And if they get away with that in Gaza, they will then move to the West Bank, where already there is, ethnic cleansing of so-called Area C, the 60% of the West Bank where all the settlements are. And I think over time we would see ethnic cleansing of other regions as well, all with the aim of solving, if that's the term, the Israeli-Palestinian conflict by getting rid of the Palestinians. And, this is, the government is, the Israeli government is openly talking about this now. Just send them to South Sudan. This would be a massive crime against humanity. It'd be utterly wrong, but they're doing it because they're getting away with it. And even though they've totally lost the battle for global public opinion, there is only one person's opinion they care about anymore, and that is Trump. Because Trump is the guy who can turn on or off the U.S. military aid and the arms sales that enable this genocide to go forward. And so this is a battle for Trump's conscience. And it is, it is a real battle, because even though Trump presumptively gives a green light to anything the Israeli government wants to do, he has been slowly distancing himself from Netanyahu. And you can see this in a series of decisions he's made in the Middle East in the several months that he's been president. He lifted sanctions against the Syrian government when Netanyahu preferred chaos in Syria. He negotiated directly with Hamas and with Iran when that was anathema. He cut a deal with the Houthis that involved an end to attacks on shipping, but not an end to attacks on Israel. He has twice forced Netanyahu to agree to temporary ceasefires. He has repudiated Netanyahu's false denial that starvation has taken place. So in a number of ways, Trump has just had it with Netanyahu. I think there's no love lost between the two. But for the time being, he's keeping the arms and the military aid flowing. Trump claims to be, moved by the starvation of the Palestinian civilians. He hasn't acted on that yet. But I don't think it's out of the question that he would, particularly as even U.S. public opinion is shifting. Predictably Democrats, but even Republicans and even MAGA Republicans are beginning to be outraged by what the Israeli government is doing. And, Trump, who foremost is concerned about himself, can turn on Israel at some stage. And so I think it is foreseeable that will happen. I just hope it happens sooner rather than later, because this is a matter of lives being lost every single day.